Welcome into Missing the Point. I'm Michael Marcangelo, joined alongside by my guy, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan. And today is the first episode of MTP Boston, a show just of Missing the Point that will focus on everything Boston sports. We got Bruins, we got Patriots, we got Celtics. We even got the Red Sox when the time comes. But today, on the first episode, right, we have something good to talk about. The New England Patriots, they showed up. They beat the Buffalo Bills 29-25 at Gillette Stadium. So before we get into some specific topics we want to talk about during the game, what were your overall thoughts?
So the overall thoughts is they, in all three phases, put a game together finally. We've been clamoring for that the last 2 years. And definitely this season, right? They've put together halves, they've put together a quarter, but never all 60 minutes. And even this wasn't really a whole 60 minutes. This was like a 54-minute put together, but it once again, they got the job done. So, there's not much to complain about on that end. But yeah, that's my bird's eye view of it. Obviously, we'll get into some intricacies as the show unfolds. But yeah, it was a good showing from the team overall.
I think one of the things that we need to talk about is because we talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago. Signature Mac, right?
Yeah,
he's yet to have one of those games, and we've been talking about that moment that we were looking for. 25-30, 272, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no fumbles lost. But I would say that last drive, that was signature Mac. Now, as I won't call you a hater, but I would say that you're less on Mac's side than I am.
Yeah.
So as someone that we've acknowledged that, right? Hands and fingers in the air. What would you say about that last drive and about Mac's overall performance in the game?
So I won't call the game or his performance special, but that final drive was special, right? And it was special because of the adversity that was being faced. The drive before, he gets to play to Kendrick Bourne, on a nice slant route, gets the first down. Bourne unfortunately fumbles. You're thinking, okay, here we go again. Buffalo is doing, what they do best with the score, and then they were more opportunistic at the time. So yeah, that final draft to come back, and you're wondering, and everyone on Twitter or X is asking, will this finally be the moment? And once again, the couple of third down throws, that throw to Hunter Henry, that's what we're looking for under duress, because once again, they were coming, and he finds Hunter Henry, hits him right between the 8 and the 5, first down, and then you go from there. You got to play to Stevenson. Obviously, a couple players to Pop, who we'll get into him shortly about his impact in yesterday's game. But yeah, that final drive, is what made it special. Once again, 272 is never going to be something to write home about. But when you don't have any turnovers and you actually become the reason why they win the game, that makes it special. So once again, I'm still cautiously optimistic going forward. But to give him his credit, give him his due for yesterday's game for that performance, especially at the end.
Yeah, I think 272 is fine. I think the most important stat out there, though, from the game is the 25 of 30.
Yeah, no turnovers.
Yeah, and people, you watch that game, and he almost threw an interception, and he did fumble, but we recovered. But we can't play the almost in the semantic game with the quarterback position this year. I would just say that what we saw over the last two games, right? Actually, 3 games, where when he was facing pressure, or when he thought pressure was going to be coming, he'd been turtling recently. He did not do that this game. He stood in there and took some massive hits and completed the ball. I mean, the most impressive play, in my opinion, was the touchdown to Kendrick Bourne. And the reason why that was the most, I would say, impressive, for me watching, was because if you go back and watch that play, he audibled out of the original play and then changed the routes to the receivers twice based on what he saw, which is what you and I have been talking about. Like the pre-snap, he's elite. That's why you drafted him.
Right.
And he made a great decision. He got fucking killed on that throw. But he put it right only where we could get it.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, but that like you said, that's what we've been waiting for. And once again, shout out to Bill O'Brien too, right? Putting guys in motion lets you know what's happening pre-snap, which ties into his strength, like you said. So if you're bringing a guy across the motion and you see that guy follow him, it's like, oh, okay, we know that that's now man coverage. If you see that guy come across the other way and nobody moves, okay, now you know that you're in zone. So now you can switch up the offense, depending on what you see in that pre-snap read. So yeah, they did a great job with that. I also saw a stat that he was 6 of 8 for 95 yards with play action. And once again, you've lamented it, I've lamented it. People that have talked about Mac Jones on other shows have brought it up. And him in play action, he's probably top 10. Like, and once again, for someone who has not been, once again, I have supported him, but my support has lessened over time. I've always lamented that his play action passing is where he is, best of the best there. And I was happy to see that they went to that a few times. I was happy to see they did a lot of stuff in motion. Because it switches things up. And once again, they looked like a legit offense yesterday. So once again, can't say enough about what happened yesterday. Once again, we'll see if it's sustainable. Because we know how the season's gone overall, but once again, for yesterday, they finally got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. They were a competent and I would say almost good team in all three phases. Which leads me to, like, what do you think that the Patriots did enough to confuse Josh Allen and the Bills, or was this more of a poor performance on their part?
It's probably a mix of both. I mean, once again, Josh Allen is going to be a gunslinger. It's the thing that people are going to love about his game. It's going to be a thing that people can't stand about his game. So, he's a Jekyll and Hyde in that way. Once again, I think he's supremely talented. So don't get me wrong. He is someone that can go 27 and 37 for 350, 4 touchdowns and a pick, and completely dominate you. So I'm glad that we didn't see that version of him yesterday. That first play from scrimmage yesterday, Pepper seems like he's going to come up and press the corner. He backs off. He gets the interception right away. That set the tone, right? And so yeah, I think a mix of just having different schemes of maybe something he hasn't seen on tape, mixed with, clearly they haven't quit yet. A lot of us as fans have quit and thought that, hey, continue to lose.
You in particular.
So yeah, oh yeah, for sure. We'll get into my mindset still, as we keep going. But once again, it's okay for the fans to quit. Like because that's once again we're gonna get emotional. We're gonna get we go with the ebbs and flows of not just every game, but damn near every possession. So that's different for us. But as far as the players, yeah, there's no one in that locker room that better quit. Because once again, you're getting paid to play that game, so you better come out there and perform. And once again, yesterday, the defense, special teams, once again in the offense, all three phases, they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that sticks out to me, right, is we know that Josh Allen likes to roll out and to extend plays and to be that gunslinger, but what we've seen is that if you make him do that, it does not usually bode well for him.
Right.
And I think the Patriots, whether it was Bill Belichick or his mutant offspring that decided that they were going to pressure him and blitz him 43% of the time, that's the most that he's seen all season. And we saw it. He didn't know what to do. And honestly, if J.C. Jackson could have just tagged Stephon Diggs when he was on the ground, this game wouldn't have needed that final drive.
What a play though!
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just like that. Damn. I mean, and obviously, it looked quick on TV, but I can only imagine on the field where he catches slides, like to have that quick of a reaction. Like it was like boom, and it was like, oh, and I almost think they were showing me, oh, like we didn't attack him, we didn't touch him, and next thing you know, it was like, oh, what a play by Diggs, touchdown Buffalo, and I'm just like, well, it's like I was there, here comes the onslaught, but yeah, but I mean, quick aside, man, JC and Jack Jones looked good yesterday for the most part.
Yep.
I'm saying that I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about some others that's been texting me, and I'm like, I said, they're doing it again. They're doing it again where they're patchworking, players on defense. They get guys in here that know how to fit the scheme. And once again, Jack Jones, because he was their number one at times last year. He's going to be able to fill in for Gonzo once he gets healthy.
Yep.
And
And he can
same,
hit. And he can
yeah,
hit.
he can hit, yeah, he can hit. And we know the same thing with with JC on the other side. So, and then Peppers is really good. So is Duggar. So it's like what's wild, their defense is starting to get healthy again.
Don't
And I'm like,
don't do it.
I'm like, here we go. Here we go.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is I said, oh my God. I thought about you all game. I said, fuck, man. Like I said, they're getting healthy. Even on the offensive line, we'll get to that too. But I was like, they're getting healthy in certain spots again. And I'm just like, here we go. They're gonna get the false hope. Here we come.
Right. Right. I mean, and we can talk about Pop Douglas in a second, but what you just said leads me to my next question, right? So with the reports from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network that came out before the game, AKA Bill leaked them, that Bill signed a lucrative or several year extension in the offseason.
Yeah.
Are you still hoping for a top 5, top 10 pick? Because I'm here to tell you that Bill's not going to do that.
So I'll put. I don't know the draft order for the rest of the 2024 draft. Like, I don't know if any other team besides Chicago has 2 first-round picks. So I'll say this, right, because I've been thinking about this all day since we met about this earlier. If you fell down to number 7, right? You were number 7 pick, and somebody had like the 13th and 19th pick in the first round. I would do that. I would trade the 7th for the 13th and 19th, a second, and maybe a couple fourths. I would do that. That to me would be okay. Excuse me, because I know that Caleb Williams, despite his recent struggles, he's going 1. Drake May will be a top 3. Brock Bowers from Georgia, it will be in the top 5. Marvin Harrison Jr. Is also going to be in the top 10. So, I'm okay with them filling out more of the roster if you're not going to go Drake May or Caleb Williams, because we know that's not going to happen now that that extension has been given. But what I will say, and I this is not my original point, but I agree with something I heard on the national, actually not national, on the local station earlier today. I don't believe this means that he's here for another 4 or 5 years. I really don't. I think that it's still year to year, kind of like how they did with Brady, right? And I think they'll say, okay, if they end up 5-12, I think Kraft's still system says, you know what, we'll pay you when we need to pay you, but your time is up. Because I think they did this to kind of kill the noise for right now and not being the distraction that it was becoming. And it was a groundswell the last few weeks, right? Mike Giardi's on NBC Sports Boston saying, "Oh, like these are the seasons where he could land," and that really had became a thing, not just locally but across the NFL. So I think that put out there to to pump the brakes. But I still think in January, if they are under 9 wins, which is obviously more than feasible at this moment, for them to be under 9 wins. I still think there's a conversation that will be had saying, hey, due to recent performance, we're gonna mutually part ways, or we're gonna part ways with you at this time.
Yeah. So, there are conflicting reports, right? So Scott Zolak, obviously a 98.5. He's also a Patriots or Kraft Productions employee. He believes that it's a 3-year extension. So it's this year, next year, and the year after. And so does Dale Arnold, who has no affiliation to anybody.
Right.
So they think it's a 3-year, so 2 more after this. And I think Tommy Curran and Ian Rappaport believe that it's a 2-year total. Here's what I know: Kraft has not wanted to pay money to top dollar to improve the team on the field, maybe more than once in the last 25 years. Right. So I find it hard to believe that he would pay Belichick $60 million to not do anything.
Right.
I don't think, let's just say it's this year and next year. That would make it more interesting, but I don't think, maybe we missed it and we overreacted. Shocker. Maybe Bill still has the locker room. I don't know. I'm not totally convinced on that.
Right.
But I think, the bring Caleb Williams or the Drake May, like that's over. That's not going to happen. And in reality, why would you want to bring? I'm out on Caleb Williams. I think he's soft, but I think Drake May. I think if you want him, sure, but you're going to bring him to throw to Devontae Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster because they're not going anywhere. It would be the exact same situation. So would you rather a guy who's, I don't know if he's doing well, but is used to it, and one more year under Billy O'Brien to grow?
So okay, if this becomes the launchpad game for Mac Jones, meaning that he propels into something that we've been wanting, then okay, fine. Once again, it's about the team succeeding more than what is Rayshawn or what Mike wants or what any of the Patriot fan wants. It's about, can Mac Jones be the best quarterback for his team? Fine. If that's the case, then cool, so be it. But I still think they should draft another quarterback. That's just my thing. Once again,
yeah, they probably will. It'll probably be like the 5th round, like he always does.
No, I mean, there's a kid out of LSU. His name is oh god.
I don't know why his name's slipping, because I saw him and I watched him.
Jaden Daniels.
Yep, $150. Poof.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't mind him being in the Patriot uniform either. We're talking second, third round. I think that's where he's going to be. He'll be there. Or once again, if you want to get Deion's son, Shador, in that second or third round too, I think he'll be there as well. So there's going to be other quarterbacks that you can get that will be. There's a kid from Arkansas, who probably would be like a day 3 pick. So we're thinking 4 or 5, maybe 6. This kid his name is KJ Jefferson, 6'4", 250. Has a cannon front arm, runs like a young Cam Newton when he was at Auburn. So once again, not comparing to Cam as a college player, because Cam is probably the best college football player that we've seen outside of Reggie Bush in the last 20 years.
You think Reggie Bush is better than Tim Tebow in college?
I mean, you're talking to a Gator fan. Reggie Bush is the best college player I've ever seen. It was unreal. Like that game against Fresno State, like, sealed it for me. When he ran from one side of the field to the other across the field, and them guys were falling out like they would like they had just passed out in a church. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable what I saw. Once again, I love Tebow. Once again, it's Gators all day. But for my money, Reggie Bush is the greatest college football player I have ever seen in my lifetime. Once again, I know there's others that came before him, but he's the best I've seen. But needless to say, I think they still end up getting a quarterback. Once again, the most important position after the start of QB really is the backup, because if your starter goes down for whatever, you need to have someone that's confident and it can come in and do the job. So whether that's Daniels, whether that's Shador, whether that's KJ Jefferson, like, those are guys that we should be looking at in next year's draft. Because like I said, now that they extended Bill, like I said, we know, like, unless they still get a top 10 and they go with that kid from Georgia, Brock Bowers, I'd be totally on board with that, because that's your Hunter Henry replacement right there. He is every bit of Hunter Henry. He's probably a little more athletic than Hunter Henry. So I would take Brock Bowers in a heartbeat if he's there in the top 10, if we have that pick, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like for a moment there, and maybe, listen, when I say that the Patriots are going to fight and they're going to improve, before the season started, I had them at 7-10 or 8-9.
Yeah,
those would still be really hard to get to. But if after starting 1-5 they finish 8-9 or 7-10, it'd be hard pressed to say that Bill lost the locker room.
Yeah,
right. And I think that we're going to be looking at more of a 12th or 13th overall pick in the draft, as opposed to a week ago we were thinking that top 5 could be in play.
I mean, the 12th pick is still better than the 21st. That's the case. Yeah, and we'll get into their upcoming schedule later on, but this game coming could really change the outlook of what happens the next few weeks if they somehow figure it out, which is crazy to me, but here we are.
I mean, I couldn't have done that segue any better, Ray. So after Miami loses to Philly, and now it's even more put under a microscope that they have not beaten an actual good team this season so far, that being the Dolphins.
Yep.
Do you think the Patriots have a shot to go down to Miami and shock the world again on Sunday?
They do, and it blows my mind. That's wild. It's wild because, and once again, I think it's in the fashion that they won. Like, had they, I don't know, just the way that they won Sunday, like they've been looking for something to hold on to. And once again, I still don't believe that it materialized into something. I'm just speaking just for this week specifically. They once again, maybe they changed, they break the mold, because once again, historically, it has not been good down there, regardless of who's been the quarterback. So this is not a Brady thing. It's not just a Bledsoe thing. Not a Matt Caps. They just normally don't win down at Hard Rock or Pro Play or whatever stadium you want to use, name you want to use. So do they have more of a shot than they did 2 weeks ago when I had proclaimed they would be 1-7 in the month? Sure. And I said, we'll see how it unfolds. But what I will say, and I'm sure you'll add on to this after I say this, so I'll just say this and I'll let you go. They clearly have to be a team that gets out to the lead, and I'll let you explain. But
if you're talking about the Dolphins, then I agree. But if you're talking about the Patriots in this situation, then I also agree.
Both. I mean, no, actually, really both. Miami's a front running team too, but New England really is a front running team. But we saw that Sunday.
Yeah, like the comparison that I would make between the Dolphins and like the Chiefs, right, is we've seen the Chiefs be down 21 points and not flinch, and then they score 44 unanswered points. If Miami's down 21 to a good team, they're not going to win that game. They just haven't yet. Maybe they will, but they will not, and they have not won that game yet. Here's what I would say about Bill and the Patriots. If you win that fucking coin toss on Sunday, elect to receive. Score first.
Right. Yeah.
Because I get it. Like this whole thing, you want to control the second half of the first possession. I get it. I got it. But listen, the Bills gave you the ball on the first possession. You score, and then you pick him off on this first play, and you go and score, and it's 10-0. And you controlled the game from there on in. Absolutely controlled it. You controlled the pacing. So I think if Bill can adjust to that, or we just have to pray that Miami wins the coin toss and they defer. But the thing about this game, though, Ray, is that if by some miracle the Patriots win this game on Sunday, they'll be 3-5, and all 3 wins will be against divisional opponents.
Yeah, they got what's wild? They have the best division record. That's crazy. They're 2-1 division. I'm just like, so if that matters at the end of the season, obviously, if they're still there, like if some weird way they get in, I'm just like, that's insane. And once again, they're a play or two away from being 4-4 or whatever it may, what I'm saying? Not 4-4, the 3-4. They'll play for me with 3-4 potentially. So yeah, it's crazy to me. Once again, I'm definitely cautiously optimistic for sure. I still desire a top 10 pick. I want to be clear about that. Once again, it's always good to see a team win. So I want to say make it seem like losing everything was cool. I don't always agree with what Mike Felger says, but I love what he said today about how he was like he said, I'd rather be Pittsburgh, where whether they're good or bad, they're fighting to be either 9-8, 10-6, whatever, 10-7. Like they're fighting for that. And that made me think about, what, like that's true. Because once again, when you're a top organization, as the Patriots are and they have been, you should want to go 3-14, 4-13.
Right.
Like I remember what Mike Tomlin said to Chase Young. He said, man, I hope I'm never in a position to draft a player like you. And that's a real statement. So once again, that's the case. Cool. I know people think that the only way to to build is really through the draft. But once again, if the draft picks haven't been hitting, then you have to kind of have a balance of getting decent draft picks and then getting getting some guys via free agency. But
if you look at the differences between like a Mike Tomlin in the years that he didn't win like 12 games, right? So in the years where he was 8-8 or 9-7,
right.
he's never had a losing season,
Right.
And he's not always had a great team, but he always finds a way to get to at least 8 wins. The difference between how we talk about him and someone like Jeff Fisher, who was always 7-9, always
Right.
7-9, like that is the difference. Mike Tomlin is, and he's also a Super Bowl champion. Like I'm not taking that away from him.
Right.
But you can look at every single team that he's coached and say that they never gave up on him, and that he inspired them.
Right, and that's where we think that's where Bill's at. Because obviously, there's many players that have spoken about his his cachet and how he leads men. Once again, they don't always agree with his tactics, but at the end of the day, he usually gets the most out of said players. So hopefully that's the case. Once again, we'll see. Once again, I think that they needed Sunday badly, like in the worst way. Once again, fans can say whatever they want. Once again, a lot of us are giving up. I ain't giving up for the most part. But like I said, once again, it's about those 53 men in the locker room, and can they look at the men to the right, the men to the left, and say, okay, I got you, you got me. Let's go to work. And we kind of touched on this earlier. I want to get back to this because I don't want to understate it. I want to overstate it because it was huge for Sunday's win. The offensive line looked the best it looked in a very long time. And what do you know? You put Trent Brown at left tackle, you put Michael Onwenu at right tackle, and then you got Strange, Andrews, and City. So to follow the rest of that line, they blocked their ass off for most of that game. And I'm like, oh my God.
Mac
wow.
did a good job of getting rid of it quickly, though.
Yes, but I'm like, I'm looking mainly at Cole Strange. Like Cole Strange blocked his ass off yesterday afternoon. Blocked his ass off. And once again, if I'm gonna dog him, I got to give credit where Cole Strange blocked his ass off, and he's been banged up. Michael Onwenu's been banged up, so they've had injuries and they've had a patchwork that offensive line. If that 5 yesterday can stay healthy, then you might see a different offense next week. You just might, because for Trevor Brown to go down, and then once they got back in the game, he said, okay, I'm getting back out there. And we know how Trevor Brown is as Jekyll and Hyde on the team as anybody. For him to get out there and say, okay, I'm also looking to play and let me get the job done, like that to me is huge. So they found the 5 that works. That's the 5 there. So yeah, so Brown, Strange, Andrews, and Onwenu. Like that's the 5. If I say unless there's a blowout, I don't want to see Calvin Anderson. I don't want to see Tyrone Woodley Jr. I don't want to see Vidarian Lowe. I'm good. Because once again, those guys were getting Mac sent to the ER low key. Like it was ridiculous. So we had a thing on Twitter, on X. So I'm sure you're going to bring this up too about the Mac Jones apology thing. We don't have to make a category for me, as you mentioned. But what I will say is that yesterday highlighted, okay, and he said himself, when I have time to throw, I'm not that bad. So okay, right. You're right, you proved it yesterday, Mac. Okay, so now they need to go down to South Florida, right? Stay away from Tootsies, stay away from G5, stay away from BTs. Shout out to you know about BTs, baby. Stay away from I'm trying to think what else out there. Stay away from KOD. Stay away from all that. Go to the hotel. Go to Prime 112, which is a phenomenal restaurant down there, and stay your ass in. Hotel. Don't go nowhere.
You already know that Bill's going to put him at some community college dorm room. Like you don't even need to
worry. I mean, hey, that's fine. Shout out to Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade College is. Well, they don't have any dorms at their schools, but at least the ones up north. But that's fine. That's fine. They got a Chili's right there. Bubba Gump is right there around the corner from it. So they got plenty of place to get entertained and have great food and have a great time. I would love that for them, but yeah, I would say just stay out the way. But like I said, that they found their five. That can, I think, be that fun. But once again, for this season, once again, you probably have to revamp in the off season, and maybe go after some guys that are free agents. But for now, I think you found your five, and you have to keep ride this wave as long as you can.
Give me your quick keys to the game and your final prediction for the game on Sunday.
So keeping Matt clean is priority number one. Continue to use motion and play action will be my key number two, and then bait Tua into making the throw that he shouldn't make or throws that he shouldn't make. They played pretty well against him. Last in week two. Obviously I know Gonzo was not out there, so they're gonna have to scheme a little differently against Tyreek Hill, but obviously Waddle should be playing as well. So yeah, so those are three things. And then as far as the score, I still think Miami finds a way to win this one. Like I think we play a little more inspired, but I'll say Miami wins 31. I say 31-20.
All right, so I think that the two keys to the game are for me are both on offense. One's more of a philosophy, just protect Mac, do what you did on Sunday. Again, give him 3 seconds to throw, and most times from the pocket, he's not going to make you regret it. Right. Keep incorporating Pharaoh Brown because he gives you something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
he does give you something.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad you brought that up because he had some nice moments yesterday too. So agree.
He could be a weapon. I don't know. Yeah, I just keep using it because now if you have 3 viable tight ends that can actually catch the ball, like that's a long way from where we were just a couple of years ago.
But he also, I'm glad you brought him up. He doesn't get credit. Obviously, he's the reason why they won the Jets game a few weeks ago in New York at the Meadowlands. He makes contested catches as well as anybody on the team.
Yeah,
like if back just gets it into his airspace, he's catching it like that. So I'm like, okay, and he runs that seam route pretty well. He gets behind his defender pretty well. So yeah, let him be out there for 15 to 20 snaps to see if he can get 3 to 4 catches, see if he can do something at the goal line. We know he has get away from the cop speed. Shout out to Gus Johnson for that call. He's got to get away from the cop speed. So if he gets behind the defender, he's going to score. So yeah, see what he can do. And yes, I appreciate his contributions yesterday. Love what I saw from Pop as well. And keep giving him the ball, please. Get anyone the ball, please. Thank you.
So I'm torn here because I think that after falling short against the Eagles in a big primetime game, the Dolphins are going to come at us like they have a lot to prove, and they beat up on bad teams. Sure. I do think that we are a bad team. I think you can't be a good 2-5 team. But here's what I'll say: I just so that we have another week or two of content. I'm gonna pick the Patriots to win this game 27-24. And my message to the league echoes the same thing that the great Kevin Millar said 19 years ago. Don't let them get to the bye at 5-5, because then we have a season. If they get to this bye at 5-5 and they're 3-1 in the division, I think it's now everything's in play. Everything's in play.
It is, especially because what you got. So after Miami, you got what do you have?
The Commanders, and then you get the Colts in Germany.
Yeah. Wow.
Now Chase Young very well might kill Mac Jones, but
but I'm like, can everybody else play though? That's the problem. Yes. He's gonna show up. But I mean, you saw Jonathan Allen's his post game yesterday. He's I'm tired of this shit. He hasn't. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying though. I mean, if they win this game and get to 3-5 and they're 3-1 in the 3-1 in the division, and you give them a hope that they can, I still think that they can beat the bad teams in this league. I think without Anthony Richardson, the Colts are a bad team. I don't think Sam Howell's a good quarterback at all. I think Shannon Sharp said on some show today that he reminds him of Thurston Howell, which I was in fucking tears from Gilligan's Island. I mean, you get to the bye. You get to the bye at 5-5. Your next game is the Chargers. Sorry, it's the Giants, and Bill gets up for the Giants. So I'm going to pick the Patriots in this one. It's going to be a close win. It would be another monumental win, 27-24, and then we're rolling. But that'll do it for this edition of MTP Boston Covering the Patriots. For Rayshawn Buchanan, I'm Michael Marcangelo saying stay tuned this week for our Power Ranking show and our Celtics season opener preview show. We'll talk to you later.